in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Please welcome.
Please welcome.
Please welcome.
Welcome to the gayest podcast ever.
Hello and welcome to the gayest podcast ever. I'm Josh and I'm here with
Eric
and CJ.
Hello, boys. How are you today?
It's officially fall. Like fall is here.
Sweater weather.
Sweater weather. No, like
Yeah.
I feel like I woke up yesterday and all the trees in the neighborhood had changed colors and then just said, "Oh no, here's our leaves," and just like threw them all over the ground. Like the car was covered yesterday, the road was covered. It's like this happened overnight. What happened?
That cold front came on through and changed it all up. Although it was like 80 on Saturday. It was warm.
Yeah, and it was fairly warm on Sunday, but Monday was like, nope.
It rained all day yesterday, and I was trying to drain the pool, and it just kept raining, and I was like,
Mother Nature's like, nope.
mad.
Yeah,
but it's going to be dark soon in like a month. We're going to be at those 4:30, 5:30 days.
It's already starting to get dark. Like normally, this is a time like the sun would be like really beaming through the living room, and no.
I love that we had a beautiful sunset though yesterday, and there were rainbows everywhere.
Rainbows
all day.
Everybody's posting pictures about rainbows.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, it is the gayest podcast ever, so it wouldn't be a podcast without some rainbows.
We met other people, Josh. Jeez.
Well, I mean, we did. I don't know if you guys saw the news today, but I think it was Eric Trump said that he was a member of the LGBT community. And everyone was like, "Wait, what?" He was,
what?
And I mean, in true
I did
Eric
not
Trump,
hear this.
Yeah,
I need to know more.
Yeah, in true Trump fashion, he was like, "Yes, you know, the gays love my dad and everything like that." And then he started to go down this rabbit hole, and he said, "Yeah, I'm a member of the." He didn't say I'm a member. He said, "The LGBTQ community comes out for my dad. I'm a part of that." And like the way he said it made it sound like he was a part of the LGBT community. Everyone's like, "Did Eric Trump just come out?"
We don't want you.
No.
Yeah, in true fashion, it was just like him getting his words confused. So he is not, but for like an hour, you know.
One of those Trump kids is confused, let's be honest. You don't think Tiffany is
Tiffany.
No, actually, my money 100% is on Barron. And you know, Melania is like whispering in his ear, like, "You like the boys, you like the clothing, you like the fashions." She's just like, "Please let me have a gay son."
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So for
the younger Donald's too busy, you know, doing his little red eye thing. You know, he's got like I almost just cussed. Poor stripper models in there with him having a 5-banger.
He's also doing a line of coke. So.
I was trying to be nice and said red eyes.
Nothing nice about this podcast.
No, yeah, he got not nice to say, "Come sit by us." I saw also a meme today. It says like, "There are 6,000 English languages, and you chose to talk shit." Like, what the fuck? And I was like, "That's so good." But yeah, so for like a hot minute, all the head gays got together. You know, Neil Patrick Harris and Ellen, and you know, they all got together. Sarah Paulson had a little coven, had a little meeting, and you know, Eric wasn't allowed in, so he's no longer a member of the LGBTQ community, and all is right in the world.
They called the corners and they like blew his ass far, far away.
Ooh, don't say blew his ass now.
You can't sit with us. You can't sit with us. But yeah, that made me chuckle, and I was like, "Oh man, things are getting weird here in America."
Things have been weird here in America for the past 4 years.
As we enter the 10th level of Jumanji in a couple of days.
There's a brain-eating amobia or something out there now. Level 10. Amoeba, whatever. I don't care. I just can't take it anymore.
So I was on a group chat and they were talking about that, and someone was like, "I'm pretty sure brain-eating amoeba. I don't know what the plural of that is.
Amoeba.
Yeah, Amoebius, have been out there because wasn't that happening a lot with those neti pots? And weren't people doing the neti pots and then something was going in the brain and eating them? And that's why I never used a neti pot.
I've done a neti pot. It's very uncomfortable, but it also just gets it all out. So, and I'm halfway normal, so that's okay.
Who sent the gift that was like, is anybody else afraid about the season finale of 2020?
Yeah.
And then CJ was like, I hope it's not a cliffhanger.
Yeah, please don't be a cliffhanger. Oh my God, I just give me a happy ending.
But the cliffhanger, I mean, the season finale won't be, we're not really at level 12 until like February because it didn't really go down until March for us.
Right.
True. I just thought they were like, so it was level 10 because October is the 10th month. Like,
No, I
that's
get
just
it.
how I
And
thought
that's
it
what they
worked.
want you to think. But it's not coming. Winter is
There's
coming.
bonus levels?
Winter is coming.
I can't handle it. I'm tapping out. I want take away my 3 little lines that Nick Jonas has. Just put me out. I'm done with Jumanji.
Donald Trump already took care of those junior. The 3 little lines.
Yeah, he just pushed them into one big line.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so yeah, let's gear up. It's going to be a fun October. You know, all those full moons and trick or treating and an extra hour. Who knows?
On Halloween night, and U of M's playing state that day too. The big day.
Yes, it's. I'm just going to start drinking Tito's at like 10 a.m. and just see how it goes.
You let me know how that works out for you.
Oh, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible, and I apologize in advance. And there's an extra hour of the day. We fall back, but it's the week before the election. Things can't get any worse.
Fingers crossed.
That's not true. I
don't know why you put that in the universe.
Things can always get worse, but these are the thoughts in my head. Things are dark and scary over here. This is why I need a Hallmark movie marathon. I need to get in the light.
Christmas is coming, girl.
Are you going to bring those Snapchat filters back of you doing all the little voices with your little ears and everything this year?
Yeah, no, I deleted Snapchat. That was one of the social media accounts that I deleted in 2020. So I don't know. That might be retired now.
I think Dolly has a new Christmas movie coming out on Hallmark this year. So
no, on Netflix. It's a musical.
Oh, on Netflix.
Another musical. Great.
Yeah, with Christine Baranski.
I saw that.
It's going to be good. But yeah, we'll save that for future podcasts as long as we all make it. So putting that there in the universe.
Yeah.
Good vibes everywhere. Good vibes.
I'll just have another drink and I promise I'll get more positive.
Well, he's just a little upset because the debate's on tonight.
I think I don't even want to call it a debate because it's not going to be civil. It's not going to be an exchange of ideas. It's not going to be educational. It's going to be a shit show. That's what they should call it. The first presidential shit show of this election.
He won't really have people to feed off of though. So
that's it. Yeah, like he won't have anybody.
I wonder how. That's why I'm curious to see it.
It might actually make it awkward, which is fun for me.
I'm going to make it into a drinking game.
Oh my God. Spencer was reading me some of the rules for the drinking game that people put out there in the world for the debate. And it was like, take a shot every time Trump says the virus from China. Take a shot every time Joe Biden. Take a shot every time Joe Biden forgets his words. Take a shot like when Joe Biden doesn't know where he's at. Like it's terrible. And I was like, and I was like, we're all gonna be drunk by the end of this, which might make it more entertaining. But
we'll be drunk the first 10 minutes into it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do it.
We're drinking now, so
yeah, true. Text me if I need to tune in. What time is it? 9?
8.
8. Okay.
So
we'll see if we're ready.
We'll see.
All right. Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have our first topic from Eric. All right. We'll be right back.
I love the way that you talk.
And we're back, and to kick us off with our first topic, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Kolinsky. Eric, what are you talking about with us today?
So just like all the little celebrities, I don't know if you've ever heard of her, like Kelly Clarkson did this year, everyone's getting a talk show.
We might have heard her name or mentioned her.
I don't think you guys have ever talked about her ever. But
you know one of
we're
her
not
songs?
talking about Kelly Clarkson. Stop. Like,
She has a new video coming out where fans can be involved.
Drew Barrymore got her own talk show recently. And, like, Drew's been a Hollywood hitter since a long time. Like, 1992, she came on the scene.
Try like 82 with E.T.
Right?
Oh, was that 82? Yes, it was.
E.T.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was born.
I looked at it and I wrote that wrong. But also, she started at 11 months, actually. She was starring in commercials.
Oh. Gerber baby.
Was an actor. All of her grandparents were actors. Her godparents are Sophia Loren and Steven Spielberg.
Those are her godparents?
Those are her godparents. Yeah, Steven Spielberg actually sent her a quilt after she posed for Playboy in 1995, and the quilt had a note and it said, "Cover yourself up."
I love that.
That's like the OG Instagram comment from like celebs kids. Like Gwyneth Paltrow recently posted nude for her birthday, and Apple or Coco, whatever her name is, for her daughters.
Apple. It's Apple.
Apple. She literally commented, she's like, "Really, mom?" Like on her Instagram post.
I love that.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I love when the celebrity kids troll. Kelly Ripa's daughter does it to her and Mark all the time.
Yeah. Rob Lowe's kids, they they've made a career out of talking about him. But sorry, go back to Drew.
Anyway, so she grew up in Hollywood, and then she emancipated herself actually at 14. The first time she went to rehab, she was 13 years old. I mean, can you imagine like growing up like that? She posed when she was at 16. She was engaged to Jamie Walters, from
90210.
The Heights. Yeah, who everyone his career after he pushed Donna down the stairs just went nowhere.
He was a cutie.
And then she actually married her first husband, and it only lasted like 11 months. And then she actually had her second husband, who was Tom Green.
Yeah.
She said they hadn't spoken in like 20 years. They were only married for a year.
Really?
Yeah, but she's dated like everyone, like Chris O'Donnell, Justin Long. Like she's had so many boyfriends.
Her and Justin Long were together for a long time.
They dated twice. Yeah.
No pun intended with the long.
And then she married some like unknown, right? Or
yeah, her first husband. His name was. Let's see, Jeremy Thomas. And they got married in 1994, and they were divorced 2 months later. And who does she have she's divorced now, but she had babies with someone, didn't she? Yeah, she married Will Kopelman. He is the son of the former CEO of Chanel, Ari Kopelman. His daughter is on that Bravo show, Odd Mom Out, Jill Kopelman. But they have two little daughters, Olive and Frankie.
I love those names.
And
I think it's so
cute. She is godmother to Frances Bean, who is Kurt Cobain and
Courtney Love.
That's right.
Because her and Courtney Love were like gal pals for the longest time in the 90s.
Well, they were big there at the same time.
She spent like ages 13 to 22 in Studio 54.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Drew Barrymore had quite the life.
We could talk a whole podcast on her life, just her teenage years, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, when Drew was like 6, they're like, here's a shitload of money, Steven Spielberg. Like, do what you want. Like,
her family just came from money.
Yeah, and she came from money. The Barrymores, Lionel, and all that, like, did all that shit and won Academy Awards.
She was in Firestarter by Stephen King in 1984.
Love that, yes.
And this is kind of when she started her little downfall, because she was 13 and she was going to rehab. So then she took a break, and then she did Poison Ivy in 1992 with Tom Skerritt and Sarah Gilbert. And it got like a lot of play on like Skinamax. Did not do so well in the theaters. But after that, it kind of picked back up. She did Bad Girls in 94 with Madeline Stowe and Andie MacDowell.
Where they were like cowgirls.
Cowgirls,
Love that, yeah.
And then Boys on the Side hit in 1995.
Love
with
that.
Whoopi, right?
My God.
Oh.
Such a good movie.
That like dealt with like HIV too, didn't it?
Yeah.
That was really huge for the movement.
Oh, yeah. And then she, Batman Forever, everyone's allowed a bad flop.
But that's where she met Chris O'Donnell, right? She was like one of the Mr. Freeze girls. Or
she met
Chris
O'Donnell when they did Mad Love, which was kind of like based on her life, where she was just crazy and real outgoing and a Daisy Flower child.
I don't want to like take it away from Drew for this minute, but can we talk about Chris O'Donnell? I think that was one of my first boy crushes because I remember seeing him in the Batman movie in those tight butt,
Robin?
Robin.
Yeah.
And then Boys on the Side, and then he was in another movie where he was like a World War I soldier, a World War II soldier, and he wore those like the dress uniform, and I was like, I'm paying more attention to you. And that's when like 10, 11-year-old Josh was like, yeah, he's a kid.
Did you ever see him when he was on Grey's Anatomy for like 1 or 2
Oh, yeah,
episodes?
that's when McDreamy wanted Meredith back.
That to me
Macbeth.
was like, okay, he is daddy status now.
Yeah, he was
Love it,
Macbeth.
Chris O'Donnell. Yes.
Which he did put her dog
That
down.
School Ties movie with like Cole Hauser and Ben
Brendan
Affleck,
Fraser.
Matt Damon, and all those guys.
Yeah, Chris O'Donnell's been around.
Brendan
Give
Fraser.
it up for Chris. Snaps for Chris O'Donnell.
Right? And now isn't he in that TV show with LL Cool J?
Yeah.
One of that
Los Angeles. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good for him.
All right. So like the little hiatus, back to Drew. So then she did something bold with her career. She wanted to be a part of Scream. Really bad. She got the script, and nobody expected. I remember when I went to see Scream, I was like, "Oh, Drew Barrymore's in this," and I did not expect her to get killed within like the first 10 minutes of the movie. I was like,
So I have a story
what's
about
going
this.
on?
I have a story. So she actually auditioned and was hired for the main role of Sydney, but something came up and she couldn't do it. So she said, "I still want to be a part of the movie." So Wes Craven was like, "We'll put you just in the very front of it. You can still be part of the movie." So that's why she did that whole scene.
Somebody's been reading their trivia on IMDb.
She was supposed to have played Sydney, but she had another thing come.
Wow.
I was mind blown when that happened. I was like,
But it's so iconic. Like her look, that blonde wig.
Right.
Like it's an iconic horror movie.
Oh, no one will forget
Scene.
that scene ever. Like,
Yeah, the popcorn.
What's your favorite scary movie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is around
popcorn.
the time she like started her own production company. Like she started to get really into acting, so she opened Flower Films in 1995 with Nancy Juvonen, who is Mrs. Jimmy Fallon now. And that is how they have become such good friends. She introduced Jimmy Fallon to his wife. And that's when she started producing The Wedding Singer in 1998. This is, and the Adam Sandler movies came. She did Charlie's Angels with Drew Barrymore and Lucy Liu, and those were both big too. And then Riding in Cars with Boys, such a good movie.
Yeah.
So sad.
And then she did 51st Dates. Like she's just had blockbuster after blockbuster after blockbusters. Like she turned her life around, and I respect her.
So can we talk about how beautiful she has aged?
Beautiful.
She was just on CBS Sunday Morning. Me and Spencer were watching her. I was like, if she has had any work done, it's been very, very minimal because she still has those like laughter lines, and she just looks so natural and such a glow about her. Love it.
And her laugh is just contagious. She's got beautiful eyes. When she smiles, it like lights up a room.
A lot of times when people start to get to a certain age and they start having all this work done, like their face changes dramatically. They don't look the same. I don't want to call any celebrities out, Madonna. But anyways, Drew still looks the same. So she might have had a little bit of this and that done, but she looks great. I could not, looking at her, I'd be like, is she in her 30s?
Or did she just get all her party and done really super young and like was just like, now I'm all like, my shit's together.
Oh my God, This is my life. I'm the next Drew Barrymore. Did it all.
You're right, because she could have for sure in like all those years of alcohol and drugs, I'm sure she was a party to a lot of that, could have really aged her and done bad. So I'm glad that she found her vibe and her community and is just doing so awesome. Like good for her. And her show, so her TV show is now premiering this year.
It already premiered. Yeah, it premiered. I think there's been last week it premiered. And Jimmy Fallon has been promoting it and talking about it. She was on his show the one day. I watched a piece of it the other day when I was working, and it was pretty funny. I watched the Tom Green episode when she had him on there.
And is it a talk show similar to that, of Ellen and Kelly, in that vein?
I can't tell because it didn't start before COVID. It's starting during COVID, so it's just
that's hard.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I think it's
really hard.
Yeah, I love that these celebrities now are like, okay, so acting is certainly something that's hard for us, but like, let's do a regular like 9 to 5 gig. And so these talk shows are it. And I mean, Ellen's obviously stepping back here soon. Kelly's stepping in. Drew's doing her new thing. I would love to see other celebrities. We've talked about, I just want to say Dax Shepard.
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell, yeah. I'm so sorry, Kristen. I love you. Can't believe I forgot your name. But I would love to see her step in. But we have these other celebrities that we love, and I feel like it makes them so much more personable, and we get to know them better, and we just enjoy them better when they step into these talk show gigs. So,
and I think you also have to have a very certain personality for it. And I think you want to be approachable and likable. And I think that's why Ellen has done so well. I think that's why Kelly's doing well. I think that's why Drew Barrymore will do well as well, because she's just got that friendly,
Because you got to be careful with the talk shows like Gabrielle Carteris, Kris Jenner. Like all these people that think that they can just have a talk show. I'm like, it is not that easy. Like, people have to want to watch you.
Yeah.
It's not just, I'm going to start interviewing celebrities. Like, we have to tune in for you, not for the people that you interview.
And I think where Drew Barrymore could really, really win a lot of celebrities over is I think she would be the type of host that would be very cognizant of things to say, things not to say, questions, because she's been there. She's been on the other line. I mean, she was on Letterman. Was she danced on the table?
Oh my God! And she took up her shirt and showed him her tits, and then gave a kiss on the cheek for his birthday. But this is why I just love her. She's like such a free spirit. And you can tell it in her acting because she can play a seductress. She can play like a mentally unstable person. She can play a flower child. She can play like this sweet innocent person. Like somebody with amnesia, and I believe it. I think she is truly a great actress.
So have either of you watched the Santa Clara Diet? That was the show that she was doing with.
Okay. With the hottie.
Timothy Oliphant. This is where we're coming from. I couldn't do it. I watched one episode and I was like, this is awful.
So the first episode where she started puking all over the bathroom or whatever, I was like, nope.
I was even, guys, I did one better than you. I gave it 3 or 4 episodes. I really, really tried.
No.
And I don't like zombie. I don't like any of that, but it was kind of comedic and it was kind of, she's very endearing, and Timothy Opheliant is just, pretty to look at.
Josh Duhamel's in it, right?
Timothy Opheliant.
Oh.
Opheliant? It's not Josh Duhamel. He looks like Josh Duhamel.
He was the killer in Scream 2, Mickey.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, he was in that Jennifer Garner movie. Him and Josh Duhamel look a lot alike, but
that's so funny. That's why I didn't watch.
But not Love Simon. That is Josh Duhamel. Timothy Opheliant was in the Catch and Release. Was the Jennifer Garner movie I'm thinking of. Timothy Opheliant was an Emmy nominated for that sheriff TV show on FX. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, my parents watched it. I know what show you're talking about.
Yeah,
which apparently is supposed to take place in Kentucky. Did anyone know this? If you've not watched that show,
never watched.
I high level know about it, but don't know any deets. I know enough about it to talk about it on a podcast. That's about it, though. But yeah, so okay for Drew. I'm happy for her.
I hope it works out well, and I'm glad everything has worked out for her. And another one that we did not talk about that is one of my favorite movies of her is He's Just Not That Into You. Have you guys ever seen that?
I've never seen that.
Oh my God, there's so many stars in it. How have you not seen it?
So this came out around the time. So Love Actually was huge, and it made famous the let's have 10 different storylines with 10 different celebrities.
Valentine's Day, New Year's Eve. I get it.
They played it out, and I gave up real hard on it.
He's Not That Into You is a good one. It's a cute one. Yeah, I would watch it on Valentine's Day.
What's the one where Bradley Cooper turns out to be gay? Because that's the one I want to watch.
Yes. And Julie Roberts is in that, right?
That's that one. He's Just Not That Into You. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I will give it a shot then, because anything where Bradley Cooper's a little gay makes me
right. No, that's Valentine's.
Is that Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day. Sorry.
Look
what you did to me, Josh. Look what you did to me.
And I think Taylor Swift's in the Valentine's Day one.
Taylor Swift and Taylor Lautner. They're boyfriend.
Taylor Lautner, yes.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe we should like get together and watch He's Just Not That Into You.
Oh, totally! I'll watch that movie. Yeah.
Okay, we'll make it a date night with some pizza.
Do you think all the rest of the boys will buy that? That's our fall movie night.
No, I want a charcuterie board, not pizza.
Ooh,
like,
he's just not that fall into you.
Yeah, she's just not falling into you.
There we go. That we can make it work. You know what? We'll serve some chili, some red wine, some Halloween candy. It's a fall event. Let's not
No
make
candy
it-
corn. No candy
No
corn.
candy corn.
Just say no.
Reese's, Kit Kats, some Starburst, maybe. Yeah, that's about it. No.
Anyways,
But-
yes, it's a good one. You should. I definitely. Recommend
And she's in that.
She's in that. There's a lot of people.
Who's her like? Who's her like love interest or the story plot line involved?
Kevin, the guy from Entourage. Kevin Connolly.
Oh, interesting.
Same reaction.
I totally just kind of gave away part of the end of the movie. But
Oh,
whatever.
you can't do a spoiler alert on a movie that's 20 years old.
Right. I appreciate that, Josh.
Yeah, there's got to be a time limit. I don't know what it is, but on movie, it's easily over a decade. So
Right.
You're in the clear. It's just those damn shows that air then the next night. They're posted on freaking Instagram and Facebook. That's where I get pissed. It's like, we haven't even been 24 hours. Social media. Whoa. But all right, Eric. Well, thank you so much for that little Drew Barrymore plot line. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
Do you see what I'm talking about? Drew Barrymore is like the Kevin Bacon of the female actors world. You can just spurt on different legs everywhere.
Oh, I bet. And I would be remiss if I didn't say probably my favorite Drew Barrymore bit was when she was on Saturday Night Live with Jimmy Fallon, and they're doing the lovers scene in the hot tub with Will Ferrell and Rachel.
I don't know
Dratch.
if I've seen that.
Oh, it's my favorite Saturday Night Live skit, maybe of all time, because all of them break character. They're laughing so hard in this hot tub because they're in the hot tub, and I think Drew Barrymore's character is Rhonda Hernandez, because Rachel just keeps saying, it is Rhonda Hernandez. And Jimmy Fallon is like this guy, and but Will Ferrell's got a beard, and the hot tub is the fumes are making it come off of his face. So Rachel Dratch is like patting his face going, lover, like trying to push it back on, and they're all dying.
Oh, I love it when they
straight
break
face.
character, though. It's so funny.
Jimmy Fallon, that's probably why he was so endearing on Saturday Night Live, because I felt like he always broke character.
Yeah, a lot of people did not like Jimmy Fallon because he broke character a lot.
Broke character. It made me giggle.
Yeah. There was a scene with him and Lindsay Lohan. It was a Debbie Downer scene. And Jimmy Fallon, I think, just had to put his head down on the table.
That's the worst when Jimmy just has to look away and just go,
Okay, we can go into Saturday Night Live just another day.
Whole nother topic. Well, thanks. And we're going to take a quick break, refill our drinks, and we come back. We're going to talk about, I believe, Nurse Ratched. I don't know if that's right or not, but all right, we'll be right back.
I love the way that you talk.
And we're back, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. CJ. Mr. CJ, all you, babe.
All right. Well, we've discussed several episodes, several different shows created by Mr. Ryan Murphy, and his latest show to be released on Netflix is Ratched, which is starring our favorite Ryan Murphy team, whatever, Miss Sarah Paulson, who is literally on our team. She's a lesbian. Yay, Sarah.
Well, and Ryan Murphy's gay. I feel like he's on the council of the gays. I felt like he was cute.
He was the high gay. Yeah.
Yeah, he might be president right now.
Yeah, so the high gays, like Ellen, she's like president.
She's like Professor Emeritus right now. I think so. I don't know.
We've got Neil Patrick Harrison. He's undersecretary. They've all got these great titles, and we're just down here. We'll get there one day, I'm sure, boys. But Ratched just premiered on Netflix just a couple of weeks ago. It's only 8 episodes. They're hour-long episodes. It's a very quick watch, but there's a lot. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
It's gory to me.
It's not very gory. So if you like American Horror Story, it is not that gory.
I've never watched a single episode of American Horror Story ever in my life.
Well, then you need to get a life.
And I've heard it's kind of like his campy style.
It's not very campy. As a matter of fact, I think it's very real life. There's some stuff that you're like, well, that's a little far-fetched, but it's not like, okay, come on. It's not like Coven or those American Horror. I keep going back to American Horror Story.
Well, because that's his iconic shows.
And that's really what it reminded me of, but it wasn't quite. I think it's on the same level as Hollywood, but.
And Ryan Murphy did Hollywood.
Yeah,
so that's a bold statement.
No, it's a very realistic show.
One of my girlfriends said the exact same thing. She thinks it was very Hollywood-esque because he does the same thing that he did in Hollywood. He almost reimagines,
right?
If like LGBTQ members were socially accepted in like the 50s. Is that when it takes place?
At 47.
47, okay, like 40s.
Yeah,
so I have heard that it's familiar to Hollywood and how he kind of reinvented the wheel of it.
So are there gay people in this Ratched show?
There's a lot of lesbians, yes. It is
Miranda, right? Miranda from Sex and the City.
Yeah, very lesbian.
She's a lesbian in real life, though.
Yeah, so it stars Sarah Paulson, lesbian in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Finn Wittrock, who is one of Ryan Murphy's go-to. He's been on several American Horror Stories.
Who?
Cynthia Nixon.
If his name is Finn Wittrock, Wittrock, I think.
Yeah.
But he's on American Horror Stories. Eric, you wouldn't know him from the O.J. Simpson or from Hollywood.
Very beautiful, very almost like Hollywood classic face.
Ryan Murphy has a type. Let's be honest.
Pretty boys.
They're
pretty boys. Mm-hmm.
Pretty boys who are dark.
Fizzle jaws. Yeah. No.
It doesn't really mind getting naked.
Think Matt Bomber, and that's all. They all look like Matt Bomber.
Doesn't mind.
I'm not mad about.
Yeah, doesn't mind taking off his clothes for the camera. So he's got several ass shots.
Are we talking about you or the shows? What?
Yes, all of the above. Cynthia Nixon, who obviously Miranda from Sex and the City, that's what she'll always be known for. John Briones, did anyone know him? When he came on screen, I'm like, I've seen him in something. But he's had a few minor roles. I didn't really know. He's an Asian actor. He's very handsome, middle-aged. Charlie Culver, one of the twins who was from Desperate Housewives, the gay one.
Yeah.
Again, Ryan Murphy was like, I'll take you and put you in my
Netflix has also made a commitment to, if it's a gay character, having a gay person portray them.
Right.
Netflix is really, really big on that right now, giving gay roles to gay people, giving transgender roles to people who are transgender, giving, black actors, people of color. They're very, very big on that, which is so awesome.
Hey, go Netflix. Thank you for that. Yeah. And the surprise that I didn't even know, I'd never heard that she was going to be in this until I started watching. Sharon Stone is in this, and she looks phenomenal. Sharon Stone has been around for a hot minute, and she's starting to age a little bit, but she's one of those that is aging gracefully. She's not a stranger to the plastic surgeon. That's probably one of her best friends. She has had some work done, but she's in it, and she's phenomenal.
Side note. So I was watching Watch What Happens Live the other night, and Cynthia Nixon and Sharon Stone were on with Andy Cohen.
Oh, probably to promote Ratched.
Yeah, they were promoting Ratched, but they talked about Sex and the City 3 and how, Kim Cattrall will not do it. And Cynthia Nixon was like, I think that we could bring a new woman, because if Samantha passed away from cancer, I don't know how they would write her out.
Oh,
they would
I thought you were going to say plastic surgeon. She just had her whole face.
No. They wouldn't have her play Samantha. They would just have her. I don't know how they were talking about doing it like that. They didn't really go in. She's like, but Sharon Stone could probably do it. Playing Samantha, not playing Samantha. Do you think she could do it?
I think you could. I think you wouldn't have her play Samantha. I think you bring her in as Samantha's sister or something like that. I don't know.
Type of Samantha.
But you make her a sexually driven character. I think Sharon Stone could pull that off.
All I think is Basic Instincts with her crossing her leg. That is Samantha 101.
Yeah.
That's totally Samantha.
Right.
I'm on board.
I think it would be super funny if Sex and the City, if they were like, yeah, like you think she died of cancer, and like, yeah, no, it was like a routine like facelift that she bled out on or something. Like, I think that's how Samantha would want to go, like a little nip, a little tuck, and shit with sideways.
Or maybe Jared went crazy. Maybe Jared crazy. It was like a passion murder.
Oh, I was like, maybe he like fucked her so hard she had like a heart attack and died. Like she would want to die being fucked. It's Samantha.
Okay, back to Ratched. Real big.
So I don't want to give a whole lot about Ratched away because it did just come out, and there's only 8 episodes. So like, I feel like anything I say is going to be a spoiler. So I don't want to give a whole lot away. Other than I thought it was very good. If you've ever read or seen, there's a movie. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The novel was written in 1962, and then a movie came out, I think, in the 70s. Yeah, it's so the character Nurse Ratched, Mildred Ratched, is based on Nurse Ratched, or Big Nurse is what they called her in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Interesting fact about the show, I didn't realize, Michael Douglas was an executive producer. So
I was like somebody produced it. I'm like, huh.
And he was though a decent proposal with Sharon Stone.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I was going like just on the Wikipedia page. I'm like, wait, Michael Douglas, like the Michael Douglas, and I clicked on it. I'm like, no, that's him. It's sure enough is him. But also just a little side note. One that Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was also a Broadway play, and then of course the movie as well. So Ryan Murphy has done several things. He's one of our favorites. That we said this earlier. He's done multiple shows that we've talked about. Do you guys know where he got to start? What series? It's very popular.
Nip Tuck, right? Nip Tuck.
No, it's very popular.
Oh, popular on the CW, starring Sarah Rue and Leslie Bibb. And yes,
I love Leslie Bibb.
Yes.
How did I never see the show?
So Eric, you've never seen it. Have you watched it, Josh? Popular?
Yes, I watched it every week because there was a gay character on it, and I was like a closet little middle schooler, and I was like, yes, give me any gay I can.
Never mind, I know why I didn't watch it now.
So it was the WB. It was the WB.
Yeah, it's definitely a WB movie or show. So Ryan Murphy started as a journalist, and then in 1990, he's decided, I'm going to be a screenwriter all of a sudden. And so Steven Spielberg, going back full circle to our conversation earlier, he actually bought one of Ryan Murphy's first screenplays, but never did anything with it. But then Ryan got the WB, bought his screenplay for, or I guess his script for Popular. And so that had 2 seasons. I thought I wrote down the year, but I didn't. Apologies. But his next big show was
like 2000, 2001.
Yeah. Next big show was Nip Tuck on FX, and I think that's really where he got some ground.
I love Nip Tuck, but by season 5, I was like, enough.
So that's a Ryan Murphy standard. By season 5, I think he's so much better at these one season one and dones, because Glee was the exact same way. I lived and breathed Glee, but by the end of it, it was like, all right, let's wrap this up.
I think he has these great ideas, and he plays them out the first few seasons, and he's like, okay, now where do we go from here?
What do?
Yeah, but interesting. Nip Tuck was actually based on a conversation that he had with a plastic surgeon as a journalist. So he was doing this undercover thing about plastic surgery, and a doctor actually told him, so tell me what you don't like about yourself, which ended up being the tagline for Nip Tuck. And it was all based on something he did as undercover journalist. Yeah,
okay,
so Nip Tuck was
mind blown right now.
Yes, 6 seasons Nip Tuck was on, and probably season 5 is about where it started to get a little. I think Rosie O'Donnell.
When they brought the Kimber doll in, and I was like, "What is happening?"
When Maddie joined the drug addict with Kimber,
Christian married their nurse Liz, who was a lesbian. I was like, "What is happening?"
It got really weird.
Oh, and when they brought in Tyrion Lannister,
and
to
Matt,
be the nanny,
and his son Matt circumcised himself and married Kimber. I was like, "You guys."
And the baby had claw hands.
Oh, I hated it. And they gave the eyeliner to the one baby. They injected
Yeah,
something.
it got real weird. I do remember. I never finished the show. I watched religiously in like the first like 3 or 4 seasons. I did Google later on when I heard there was like a sex scene between Julian McMahon
Mario Lopez.
No, that's a shower scene.
I know, but I was like, I didn't want you to think it was Mario Lopez because I was misleading.
No, there's a sex scene. It's with Dylan Walsh, the other guy, but it's like a fantasy. You know how they do all that,
Right.
But it was FX, and I feel like that really prompted
FX is one of the networks that started to push the envelope, and then I think
exactly, yeah.
HBO and stuff really started to get into shows then.
And they've been really, really good to Ryan Murphy between Nip Tuck and then American Horror Story. That's why I was kind of shocked that he signed the big deal with Netflix, and he's moving from FX to Netflix. And that's why he's got, Netflix is throwing out money to all these people. They did it to Dan Levy. They did it to him. They did it to Shonda Rhimes. They're like, here's $100 million. Here's $100 million. Get us all the shows you can for this. And like, it's insane.
Yes. So I think I read that Ryan has a 5-year production development deal. Yeah,
that's what they offered to Dan Levy, Shonda.
Anything that he wants, they're like, we'll like green light anything you want for the next 5 years.
He's giving them so much money. Like, so many of his shows are hits. It's insane.
Right.
And that's how The Boys in the Band, which is premiering next week, The Boys in the Band, which is, it's literally it was a Broadway show, and Ryan Murphy saw it and was like, I want to make this into a movie for Netflix. And so he got the entire cast to come on board, and that's about...
And they're all gay, pretty much.
Yeah. And it's all gay actors doing, and I think it's about right before Stonewall. I think is the premise of it. It's the 1960s, right before the Stonewall riots, and kind of life as a gay man in the 60s, 70s.
So I want to jump back just before we get into all this, because I do have this on my list here. But did you guys ever see Running with Scissors, the memoir about
Augustin Burroughs?
So he did that. So that was one of the things that I had no idea until today. Of course, 2009 was Glee, which was on for 6 full seasons. That's where he won his first Primetime Emmy, was with Glee. Then he had a little spinoff on Oxygen called The Glee Project, which basically he auditioned like real life people and trained them on theater and singing. And then the winner of that show got to be on Glee. Like those last few seasons of Glee, I think half the cast were from that project, the Glee Project.
That's probably when they should have ended the show.
Probably. So 2010, again, something I didn't know. He basically did Eat, Pray, Love with Julia Roberts. Like that was one of his babies.
I didn't know he was part of Eat, Pray, Love.
Yeah, so big one there. And then in 2011, he started American Horror Story. 2012, I don't know if you guys watched it, The New Normal. It was only 1 season.
I did watch The New Normal. Nene Leakes was on it. Mm-hmm.
I loved The New Normal.
Yeah, it had Justin Bartha.
Yeah.
National Treasure.
It was 30-minute episodes, and I felt the 30 minutes could have been an hour. Those could have been hour long, because they were just like, oh, and they're done.
That show The Boys that's coming on. What is the guy's name that was on The New Normal? And he's dating the other guy now. Andrew, I can't think of his name. I'll get back to you. Keep talking. Go ahead.
Like
but
the lamplighter guy?
Go ahead.
The lamplighter guy?
Just, I'll figure it out.
I don't know. The New Normal was actually based on Ryan Murphy's life. Because around at that time, he had just got married and started
adopting,
having a kid from surrogacy. And so that whole show was based on his life. I thought that was fascinating. And then in 2014, he did a screen adaptation of The Normal Heart, which was a big movie.
That's when Matt Bomber came into his life.
Yes. So now she's got some real talent showing up.
Mark Ruffalo. Have you guys seen The New Normal or the
love
Normal Heart?
Normal Heart. It's a tearjerker.
Andrew Reynolds. Andrew Reynolds.
Oh yeah,
from the Book of Mormon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's
Girls.
Right.
Andrew Reynolds. Yeah.
2015 is really where he started to get into his one and done type things. Scream Queens, which was I think, was it a Fox or an Epic?
Fox.
He started to try to take some of his American Horror Story people and give them another venue. Again, Julia Roberts' niece, what's her name? Emma. She was in that. 2017 Feud.
Nick Jonas was in that too.
Nick Jonas was in that. But 2017 Feud, the story of Bet and Joan Crawford.
I'm scared of that one.
Yeah.
I thought that one sucked.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much. And
I didn't care for that one earlier.
I heard he was going to do another one, and it was going to be like the Queen and Diana.
Oh,
which I would be interested in. With The Crown coming out with this new season with Diana
it's not done.
It might be a good time to throw it in there. Are you over it at this point?
Yeah, no, let's do something else. There's so many good Hollywood feuds.
I know, like do like Liz Taylor and like Debbie Reynolds over the whole Eddie Fisher thing. Like, bring that to me.
Okay. I would love something about Elizabeth Taylor. Talk about some
Richard
drama.
Burton, bring it on.
Yeah, she married that man twice.
I'm feeling that.
We said something to Netflix.
But no, like Taylor Swift and Katy Perry feud.
Well, no, that ended.
No Kanye West and Taylor.
Maybe when our kids are, we have kids like when they're
we need some older ones. I would actually love to know more about who was the Princess Grace or whatever that died on the boat.
With Princess of Monaco.
Yeah, with the guy from Star Wars or Star Trek, and the creepy guy walking, Christopher Walken.
Oh, what? Christopher Walken and Natalie Wood.
Yes.
And Robert.
Sorry, not Princess Grace of Monaco. I apologize.
That was a long time.
Sorry, that's Blame It on the Tito's.
She was overseas.
Blame It on the Tito's. No, Natalie Wood. Give me some West Side Story.
Is it Robert Mitchum? Is that his name?
He's gross. He does all of those commercials for Priceline, or wasn't he To Infinity and Beyond? No, that's
you are definitely talking about Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek.
Captain Kirk.
Who's Kirk.
That is not Captain Kirk. Robert Wagner.
Oh, okay.
Robert Wagner. Captain Kirk is married to Laura from Luke and Laura from General Hospital in real life. Come on.
Oh, that's a little side note there.
That
like
old
that.
No, that's Captain. That's
James T. Kirk. I don't know.
Patrick Stewart you're talking about.
No, Patrick Stewart's on the Next Generation. That's Jean-Luc Picard.
I can't keep up with this. This is why I don't watch sci-fi.
No, the one, he did all those Priceline commercials with the girl from the Big Bang Theory. William Shatner. William Shatner.
I'm so done with you right now.
Did he kill Natalie Wood? Or did Robert Wagner kill Natalie Wood?
Okay, so all of our listeners that think that this is heavily edited, it's not. Like, we're just going off the cuff. Like, we have no breaks and pauses in between this.
Nope, this is... You get us 100%.
We just shouted out 20 celebrity names. Some poor little gay out there who's on Wikipedia now, blowing it up, looking for all these connections.
Well,
we might as well play charades. Like,
if Ryan Murphy made a Netflix show about this, we wouldn't have these questions. We would know.
Ryan Murphy, we are talking to you. We need this for our own information.
There was some show, and I can't remember if it was on Netflix or Prime, but it was called I Love Dick. And I literally was like, Kevin Bacon was
it on Pornhub?
I go, maybe he'll be nude because Kevin Bacon gets nude and it's Netflix. And it was with him and Catherine Hahn, the girl from with Mila Kunis and
Bad Moms.
Kristen, Bad Mom. And I was like, oh, let's give this a shot. And I watched the trailer and it's so fucking weird that I kind of just want to watch it. Like, she moves to this small town with like her husband, and then she just gets obsessed with Kevin Bacon, and his name is Dick, and she just writes him love letters all day and like professes her love for him everywhere.
So I do this every day. I write love letters to Kevin Bacon every day. So
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
How do we get there?
I don't know. I'm going to finish up for Ryan Murphy. Ryan Murphy is who we're talking about. So 2018, he had 911 on FX. Anyone watch that?
I did watch that with Connie Britton. I watched the first full season. Angela Bassett. Oh, another one of his favorites.
Ryan Murphy. It all makes sense now. So Ryan Murphy's like, I'll take you, and I'll pick you.
Dear Hollywood actors trying to make it, get in the Ryan Murphy family. You golden. You're golden.
You know, all those Hollywood boys that no one heard of before, they're like, thank God I'm on a Ryan Murphy show now. I've got the next 20 years of my life planned out. Pose also started in 2018, which has been a phenomenal show, especially for the transgender community. It's done so much. It's another FX show. Interesting fact about Pose, I just read today, Ryan Murphy actually donates every cent of his proceeds from Pose to LGBTQ plus charities. He doesn't take any money from that show.
How fucking amazing.
Yeah, which I think is phenomenal.
To be fair, he doesn't need it.
He doesn't, but still.
He doesn't need it, but a lot of other people would take it, and he doesn't, and I love that.
2019, another one of our favorite shows we've talked about, The Politician.
Love it.
Love it. And
I still haven't watched it, y'all.
Oh
So good.
my God, Josh.
It's so good. I love Gwyneth Paltrow so much in that show.
She's amazing in it.
Well, and she's married to Brad Falchuk, who is Ryan Murphy's BFF producer. They did Glee together. They did The Politician together, and she was in Glee. That's how she met her husband.
That lady needs any money either.
Yeah, she met her new husband because of Ryan Murphy, Brad Falchuk. I'm almost positive.
Then 2020 Hollywood, which we've talked about, we love, and that's really it. So Ryan Murphy, anything he puts out, I'm gonna watch. It's golden. Love it. Love all of his handpicked people.
You didn't mention any of the American Crime Stories, which were they won a lot of the Emmys. I mean, Sarah Paulson won her Emmy. Darren Criss won his Emmy. Those American Crime Stories were really, really well done, and I would love to see another one.
You're right. I probably
is that the new one that's coming out with Brian Phillippe?
We were talking about
no
Star Trek person. I probably skipped.
Sorry, no. The American Crime Story was the O.J. Simpson one, and then the Versace murder.
Which to me, American Crime Story.
See, look, I remember Andrew Cunanan because Ryan Murphy made a show about it.
Right. The O.J. Simpson one to me is definitely the best of the two.
Amazing television
because of Sarah Paulson. Hands down.
O.J. Simpson was the worst part of that. He's
right.
Cuba
the legal team
O.J. Simpson.
The defense was, what is it? The city, state defense. What are they called? I don't know legal stuff.
The defense,
the
prosecutors. Yeah, the district attorney.
Yeah. So they were definitely the best part. We could have not even seen OJ. The whole show, just mentioned his name in the background. Sarah Paulson could have led the show.
Yeah, I just would like to see some different stuff. I think he does good stuff, and he's all over. But I definitely want to
say he's done every genre.
I think we're talking about Celebrity Fusion. If that's something I want to watch, I just want him to bring something out, Diana and the Queen, we've seen it.
Okay, well, stay tuned. I'm sure he's been cooped up in COVID and been I've got 78,000 ideas. I've hired all my staff back. They'll be here.
No, Eric, I think you're absolutely right. I think if he wants to maintain his level of amazingness, he needs to step outside of his comfort zone. He needs to step out of his box. And hopefully Netflix will give him the room to do that because I don't want to see the same thing over and over again, just in a different way. And that's some of the criticism I've heard about Nurse Ratched is that it's the season of American Horror Story no one wanted, or that it's the same type of thing that he did with Hollywood reimagining. So it's just I want him to take chances and be bold and go outside the box and give us all this amazing stuff because I know he's capable of it.
Yeah, I can respect that. I will say
American Horror Story, is he done now? Is that done? Because that's been on for 6 or 7 seasons.
No, he's got planned seasons ready to come out, but I will say, if you're an American Horror Story fan, I felt like Ratched was the Asylum season, but tamed back. It wasn't that crazy, there's aliens and this is all this gore. I feel like it's what Asylum should have been. It was more story-driven. It wasn't all about the craziness in the world.
Gotcha.
I think you should give Ratched a chance. It definitely, I've heard that it's been picked up for a season 2. I don't know where they're going to go. I'll just leave it at that.
Hey, Cobra Kai got a second season, so anything's possible.
Yeah,
Cobra Kai got a third season and a new network.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that on this podcast.
I've never seen a Karate Kid.
Oh.
I take that back. I saw one Karate Kid, and it was the one with Hilary Swank, so it's probably not.
At least it wasn't the one with Jaden Smith.
Are you sure that wasn't Three Ninjas?
I forgot about that. Three Ninjas Kick Back?
Hey, everybody loves Emily, okay?
Listen, I was Tum Tum from day one.
Every chubby kid.
Team Colt.
Yeah, but I identified with Team Tum Tum.
Right.
All right, boys, let's refill our glasses, and when we come back, we're gonna, launch into another orbit. Uh-oh.
Okay.
I love the way that you talk.
All right, and we're back, and I'm going to close this out tonight. This doesn't very happen that I go last. Kind of excited, kind of boozy.
Yeah, your shoulders are going. I like
that. I got some shoulder
Michelle,
action.
we've been meaning to talk to you.
Girl, that's so cute that you think I'm the Michelle.
Not me, Josh, not me.
Kelly, now stop, Kelly.
I got your back.
Let me pull out my slider phone and Excel spreadsheet Nelly and ask him what he's been up to.
Oh, he's on Dancing with the Stars right now. I watched him last night. It was Disney.
Nelly is on Dancing with the Stars.
Text you guys. Last night was Disney night on Dancing with the Stars, and there was nothing on, and I watched it. Carol Baskin got eliminated. She was in her little lion costume. They danced to Lion King, obviously.
Well, so the judges will
I
be.
am so sorry that this is what your life has come down to. You need a new Netflix show.
So now the judges are missing because Carol Baskin's like, "Come see my tigers."
I am not a fan of Tyra Banks. I gotta tell you, I don't like her as the host. Poor little Chriselle was Cinderella. Justin Hartley's divorcing her from This Is Us. She had a phenomenal night.
And America is surrounding her because everyone was loving Selling Sunset on Netflix.
Yeah,
everyone is loving it. It's on my feed all the time. I might give it a chance, but I don't love reality TV.
There was nothing else on it. I watched it, but yes, Nelly is on it. Yes.
I heard AJ from the Backstreet Boys is on there, and I'm a Backstreet Boys.
AJ from the Backstreet Boys was my favorite last night. He did Aladdin, and it was so cute.
It was a whole new world.
Stop.
I
know he's like the Danny of the Backstreet Boys from New Kids on the Block, but he did a really good job.
I am absolutely appalled that AJ from the Backstreet Boys is on Dancing with the Stars. Like,
they're not touring. They gotta come up with someone.
is on there. There's actual people that you know. Anne Heche.
No one cares about her.
Ellen's ex?
I'm just saying. There are people on this season that you know.
No,
I actually do feel like there are more people that I know on this season that I
like the one girl that just go on One Day at a Time right now. I don't know her name, but
she's Mexican or Hispanic. I apologize.
I keep wanting to say Valerie Bertinelli, but that's right.
No.
So you didn't really sell it when you said there's a lot of big celebrities.
One Day at a Time. Oh my gosh.
There's people you know.
She was on 6 Feet Under. She was on 6 Feet Under too. Justina Mercado. Justina Mercado.
You guys, we really got to reel it in. We keep.
All right, sorry. Let me bring us back into orbit and talk about.
I can't with your puns today.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys know this, but recently on Netflix, I love a good documentary. I can't help it. But recently, Netflix uploaded a new show, and it's produced by J.J. Abrams. He did, some of the Marvel movies, some of the Star Wars movies. He did Alias, which Eric is watching in his cabin.
No, I quit. I stopped watching that show.
I'm sorry. Anyways, it's called Challenger, The Final Flight, and it's all about the Challenger explosion in 1986. And so the whole documentary, it's 4 episodes, and it's on Netflix, and it completely starts with literally you're watching the Challenger goes up, And then right before it's set to explode, they cut it and they go through 4 episodes. And the first 2 episodes are completely about NASA and these astronauts and the whole like Challenger, what was going on. The 3rd episode is leading up to the launch, and the 3rd episode ends with the launch explosion. And then the 4th episode is like, what the fuck happened?
Wow.
And the footage that they have in this documentary is so amazing. They have everything. I don't know who J.J. Abrams paid, if it's public, but they have everything. They literally have interviews from the flight class of 1978 when they brought in all these astronauts. It's insane. Anyways, so me and Spencer watched it, and it was so good. I didn't look at my cell phone for the 4 hours. I literally could not look away from the TV. It was so good. So if you have a chance, I really, really think you could watch it. And so what I want to talk about a little bit is NASA and space and America's fascination with it. And so I thought I would start with, if I was like, hey, here's your ticket, would you go into space? CJ, yes or no?
100% yes.
Eric, yes or no?
I have to say right now.
Yes. Are you on the flight crew? There's 6 people.
Yeah, I'd probably go.
Okay. I don't know if I would. I'm really, really nervous.
I've had a couple glasses of wine, so yeah, I'm going.
Well, I've had a couple glasses of Tito's, and I don't want to go.
So when did Challenger happen? That was
yes. So a little bit of background. So NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, was founded in 1958, which actually doesn't feel like that long ago.
It's not at all.
It's not at all.
We've had a lot of story since then.
Yeah. And their yearly
it's like 70 years ago.
No, because
1958?
Yeah, so 1955 was 65 years ago. So 62, 63.
So almost 70. He's right.
I mean, come on, John.
62, 63. It's closer to 60.
Play with number 5. We'll round down 60. Whatever. Go.
We're closer to 70.
So their annual budget is $22 billion. That was a B. $22 billion that NASA gets every year. And so what really kind of happened is, I think we're all kind of familiar, well, high level, like we sent people to the moon in the orbit in the
Lance
60s.
Bass wanted to go. He was going to go.
He really wanted to.
We're almost training there for a while.
Yeah. But so what they decided in the mid 70s is they were like, we want to put people in space. Okay. So this is like pre-Lance Bass, but like in the 70s.
In the 70s? Yeah.
In the 70s. Yeah. They were like, we want to put people in space. So they came up with this space shuttle program, and it ran from 1981 to 2011. And so in 1978, they inducted, there's astronaut classes, which I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but there's astronaut classes. And the last one was in 2017. And Mike Pence brought that on. But the next class is coming in 2021. But in 1978, they brought on 35 astronauts. And for the first time ever, 6 of them were women, 3 of them were black, and 1 was Asian American.
Love it.
So in 1978, so like NASA was really, really trying to be more inclusive and was really, really about it, which I think is awesome. So the space shuttle program, the first launch was in 1981, and they had 5 shuttles. And the thing about the space shuttle program was that these 5 shuttles were reusable. Prior to this, they weren't really reused. They were like sending spaceships up. They were getting them down. They were crashing in the ocean. We were getting the people. And we were done.
I never really understood that landing with the little rocket thing just flying towards the earth.
So
they're just like, there's parts like just orbiting around the Earth, and like wasn't that like one almost hit the space station like not long ago?
Yeah.
From the 60s.
NASA's like
who can live in space? The space station, that is constant anxiety. Oh, shit, is that asteroid going to hit me? Ah, shit, is that
I woke up
rock gonna
today.
hit me?
I woke up today. I'm alive. I'm good.
Can you imagine being like the little analyst sitting at your computer and being like, oh, fuck, there's something coming towards the space shuttle. Like, what the fuck? That would be the worst day. Talk about, like, I, like, have a bad day when, like, I can't get my email to connect.
Right.
Imagine, like, your bad day is, like,
being in the space
stuff?
station and looking down and be like, well, California is all on fire. Like, everything in California is on fire right now.
Why is California orange? Yeah, no, that's terrible. I don't know. It's too much for me. I changed. No space station.
Well, no, the astronauts probably, I mean, they are pretty, like, easygoing most of the time, but, like, clearly, like, launching and being in space is a whole nother ball of wax. But they're not the analysts of the computer seeing the shit all the time. But so the space shuttle program, it ran for 30 years. It had 5 shuttles, and these shuttles were reusable, which was like the big thing that NASA sold to the U.S. government when they wanted this like budget. They were like, and they literally told the government, they were like, we will get 2 shuttles up into space, like we will fly them up there twice a month. They were literally like, these are going to be like, they sold it like a airplane, like. It was crazy. They even sent a congressman into space. I don't know if you guys knew that. They flew like a senator out in space. Yeah. But the big thing that kind of happened in 1986. Well, I should back it up. So 1981, they're getting people up in space. Everyone's loving it. America's fascinated. They're like, this is awesome. And then they're getting people up into space all the time, and America's getting bored because we have an attention span of a 5-year-old. And so they're like, what can we do to make this like bigger and sexier and whatever? They're like, oh, let's send a civilian. So they got this they did a nationwide contest, and they got this Krista McCullough. She won a nationwide contest, and she was going to be the first teacher in space. And it was so smart. Like, if you watch this documentary, the marketing on it, like someone probably made a lot of money because they literally got, I think it was Ronald Reagan was the president at the time. He literally like came out and said like the first civilian we're sending into space is a teacher because they are America's most like underrated. Like I was like, man, this is ringing really true in 2020. This is crazy.
What happened to the Republican Party?
Yeah, so Krista McCullough and they have a backup named Barbara, and the two of them are chosen, and Krista's going to go up into space. And all of these astronauts have been training for years. So it's 1986. Well, it's actually 1985 because it happened in January of 86. So these astronauts, they're part of the 78 class. They've been training for like 6 to 7 years. And they're like, so this teacher just gets to go up into space after a contest? Like, they're like, come again? Like, the astronauts are a little bit.
And the winner is.
Yeah. But so.
You're a winner, baby.
Yeah. So the craziest thing, too, about this documentary is the backup, Barbara. Netflix got her, and she's talking, and she's showing shit and talking. So she literally was going through the entire process with the entire crew. They all went up, and when the space shuttle Challenger launched, it exploded 73 seconds after launch. Jesus. And Barbara was there. They literally have video of Barbara watching it. So she watched her entire like crew, Krista, who became one of her best friends because they were training together, watched them all die. And it's insane. So if you have the time, I really recommend watching it. And at the time, because it was 1986, America's obsessed with it. Because especially this Krista McCullough, it's like America's teachers going up. She was going to teach 2 lessons from space. They estimate that 1 in 5 Americans watched it explode. They literally said almost 20% of American TVs had it on when it exploded. Schools had it on.
I think that's one of those things where it's like, where were you when 9/11 happened? Where were you when this happened? When were you when the Challenger exploded? I think that's one of those things we ask now.
Yeah, because you guys were like what, 5 or 6? Were you young?
What year was it? 86, you said?
January of 86.
So I was 4.
Oh, no, I was 3.5. No,
I was 3.5. Yeah, almost 4.
Yeah.
I was turned 4 in March.
I was 35 days old. Um,
So it's your fault.
yeah, I was a baby. But like, you're right. If you ask your parents, if you ask people, like, where were you?
Oh, we lost you, girl. Where'd you go?
Sorry.
Where were you?
Technical difficulties.
Where were
went up
you?
in
What kind of victory was that?
So I also have to
Houston.
say that
Houston, we have a problem.
right. Hashtag backup Barbara. Like hashtag backup Barbara for sure.
Yeah. So it's just insane because everyone was so fascinated with it. You're exactly right. A lot of people.
I don't know. Now tomorrow, that like Chris, the guy from Colorado that murdered his wife, that documentary is being released tomorrow on Netflix. I don't know if you need to watch it. You know, I'm starting to get a little concerned as to why this is why you're having all this issues.
Oh no, I haven't been sleeping well. Yeah,
Like,
the
the documentaries and the upsetting stuff. You're pretty much gonna walk out of your house in bubble wrap for Halloween, and we're gonna be like, "Josh, what are you?" And you're like, "This is just my normal life now."
Bubble boy. Yeah.
Everyone should know that I am balancing now. I have recently started to watch the Great British Bake Off, which is probably the most calming thing in the entire world. So if you're looking for something to calm yourself, watch the Great British Bake Off. Nothing like a British woman baking a crisp cookie. Like, it just makes life better.
So I think you should watch. You said you don't do Apple TV, but they have a show called For All Mankind, and it's basically a retelling of What If about the moon landing. And it goes into...
So it's a Ryan Murphy movie.
I mean, it might as well be. But it's basically what if America did not land on the moon first? What if Russia did? And it was an interesting concept because it was like Russia landed first, so it caused America to push harder. And
like give them like 40 billion instead of 22.
So to land second. So they landed second, but then all of a sudden Russia landed the next person on the moon, and she turns around and it's a woman. So then this whole space program is like, oh my God, Russia's not only had the first man on the moon, they've now had the first woman on the moon. And so it kind of snowballs from there. So like,
then they put a baby in the rockets.
Right. So then they're
Superman.
like, so we've got to open it up to women. So then all of a sudden these women, like pilots, are coming in and they're trying to go through the program and be astronauts. It's a very fascinating show. It has Joel, Joel. It starts with a K. He was in Suicide Squads. You know what I'm talking
I don't know
about?
her.
No, he's very
I do
popular.
want to know how you and Josh are enjoying your new jobs at Netflix, because you guys are hard promoting.
I mean, pretty much Netflix. That's the only thing I have to do now.
Some of us don't have cable, Eric.
I have cable, but still, there's shit on TV. Like,
Yeah, you're literally watching Dancing with the Stars. You are at the bottom of the barrel. Go on Netflix.
see, Carol Baskins or any of these other shows on.
Yeah. But so like the more and even like to get away from like the Challenger Final Flight on Netflix, you know, streaming now. More like on like space in general. Like if you think about it, how obsessed we are and how much media there is. Like you said, like Lance Bass wanted to go to space. Now there's like I think Richard Branson, doesn't he have like a private space thing?
Yeah.
And he's got a yacht and an airline and like cruise ships. Like,
isn't Elon Musk doing?
And
something?
Elon Musk actually has a partnership with NASA, and they're trying to do it together because NASA's like, oh, the government's not forking over all the money.
Now we need commercial.
Yeah, but can you imagine if there was like commercial flights to the moon? Like,
I mean, but like,
I'm not
it's like everyone in
vacationing
Florida's
on the
like,
moon.
oh, I watched the rocket launch today. Big deal.
Yeah.
Like,
When I say I'm going up north this weekend, I don't mean the moon. So
yeah, I'm like, big deal. I watched a plane take off today. Like,
what am I going to do? Just walk around and like sweep dust off the moon? Like there's no beach.
where's the hot tub?
I mean, if I put two men in front of you, one's from NASA and one's in the Navy, who are you sleeping with?
Yeah, I don't
The
think my
seaman.
scruff
The
is
seaman.
going to work on the moon. Yeah.
Oh,
It's 300 feet away. Like my scruff doesn't work. So
Let's get naughty, Cole.
okay, okay, Austin Powers.
oh my god.
You said Navy, seaman, nautical. It felt right. Oh,
You mean astronaut?
Oh my god.
I love a good
this
pun.
week.
But yeah, so I'm just fascinated. And like I was talking with my friend Jess about it, and she went to space camp twice. Like, remember how space camp was like the thing in the 90s?
I was never allowed to go to camp. I never got to go to camp. I always wanted to go to camp.
Yeah, my parents would pay for normal camp down the road. They're not going to pay for me to go to Florida.
There was
and
no
do
day
space
camp or any of this. Like, my parents were like, "Look, I gotta go to work. Don't get killed."
Exactly. Like, don't burn
And don't call the
down.
cops.
Yeah.
There's a problem. Call your aunt. Don't call the cops.
There's
Like,
leftovers in the fridge. Use the microwave, not the stove.
The stove.
My parents
Right.
would be like, so you can use the rocket ship, but you can't use the stove.
Yeah.
do you guys think that President Trump was correct in creating the Space Force? Like, do we think that needs to be a
that's
thing?
a joke. So that's
They're putting money behind it. I don't know
I'm
if it's a
sure
joke.
they are. Yeah,
Well-
it's probably the money's probably behind that wall that we still
it's
have.
probably paying his taxes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it's not.
It's a very small budget if they have to pay his taxes.
What is space? What are we protecting ourselves from? The debris that we put up 40, 70 years ago? Like,
That Russian woman that you were talking about on the moon.
oh, so she's just up there planning, like building, like throwing moon rocks at the Earth. They're going to eventually get
That
there.
woman from Michigan, they're going to consider from the
Yeah, that woman.
I mean, part of me does really think, like, if you wanted to cripple our economy, take out one of our satellites. I mean, to me, that does seem
Right, well, we're not going to
like-
give them ideas on our podcast.
But we're not talking about our original
Right.
satellite, which
The
is the
Secret
moon.
Service had officially tuned in and changed the subject.
We've watched Umbrella Academy. We don't take out our one satellite, the moon. Like, we know that turns the ship.
Yeah, I just, I mean, clearly, like, space kind of scares me. Like, are there aliens out there? Who knows?
But you know
I
what?
just don't like it.
If you want to put some more money in to maybe go on the Mars, maybe like
Is
going
Britney Spears there? Like,
right. I went down and got it for you.
Like,
Twirling across Uranus.
yeah.
Listen, a lot of things have crawled across my anus before, but still.
No, I mean, I couldn't even imagine space. Like, how am I going to get my two favorite meals? Brunch and happy hour. I mean, come on.
Right? Like a little
All
pill?
I think is Chris Pratt. Ben and Chris had a baby. His name is Chris Pratt. No, Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence on that movie where they wake up and they weren't supposed to wake up because the ship is going and it's light years ahead. And they have this beautiful romance together. That's what I want. That like,
Or like
yeah.
Sandra Bullock, George Clooney one where he just floats away into space.
No. I don't. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. I don't want Sandra Bullock to like fly
Is there-
and land on something and fly off. Like, no.
Is there Tito's in space?
Of course, whatever you want.
Let me tell you.
I
Not
have
going without it.
I have been
They're
watching
like
Star
checking
Trek.
my space bag, and they're like, "Josh, you have a lot of wine and vodka."
When you were
packed for
a
this
kid, did you
flight."
ever eat that like space ice cream like in school?
I loved it. There
Dippin'
was a
Dots, like the ice cream
planetarium.
of the future?
Yeah, there was a planetarium 20 minutes from my house.
I can't with either of you
This is a
anymore.
planetarium all the time.
You guys are spaced out.
I'm watching Star Trek Discovery right now, so I am a space nerd.
You should go discover a life. Anyway.
I always get confused on when it's a space war or a space track or a Star Trek or space. I don't even know anymore. Like, I get so
Trek.
confused. Is it an Ewok? Is
that's
it a
a good
Wookiee? Is it a
parody.
Klingon?
As long as it's not Space Jam with R. Kelly, you're fine.
Yeah, I think Space Track would be a great parody that you should write. Get Ryan Murphy on that. That's
Where's
his
Katy
new-
Perry? Didn't she have a song about E.T. extraterrestrial?
Ryan Murphy's new movie is going to be called "Is There Tito's in Space?" starring Josh.
Oh, girl, you sign me up. I want to be in the Ryan Murphy family. I'm
Sarah
bankroll
Paulson
for
plays.
life.
Sarah
I'll
Paulson plays.
I'll remember
alien.
you all.
Uh,
All right. Well, so those are my thoughts on space. Me and my
they're
old
definitely
roommate.
out there.
Oh See, we got her. We got her punning. We knew we could do it. Me and my girlfriend Jenny, she was like, I'll never go to space. She goes, there's no puppies in space. I was like, fair, Jenny. There are probably no puppies in space.
We sent monkeys to space, but no puppies, right?
I think the Russians sent a dog to space, didn't they?
The Russians have the first of everything, apparently.
First puppy on the moon.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to play a little game, and see who we're going to get lost in space with. Ooh. Make a drink, boys, because when we come back, we're going to be, suiting up and suiting down. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, how are you going to finish it? Yeah, we'll play the game, Josh.
Oh, I was gonna say I was gonna try and come up with a clever pun.
No, the pun didn't work. Go to commercial.
I was gonna try and come up with a clever pun about like being probed or something. But on that note, we'll be right back.
I love the way that you talk.
All right, and we are back, and we're gonna play a little game about who we'd like to get lost in space with. So for those of you who are listening, I will try and remember to say everything so that way you can hear us, because this is a podcast. But if you'd like to actually see what is going on, you can always check out our YouTube page, and from there you'll be able to actually see us recording as well as get an interactive visual for the games. So check that out. YouTube, Gayest Podcast Ever is our channel. You can also find it on our Facebook and our website. Okay,
and you can see how much we drink during each podcast. Yeah. Like, you can see us physically moving our glasses up to our face. So.
All right, are you boys ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so here's how to play. I did some rules on here, and I was like, I never do rules. But so
we can't see everything on the screen.
You can?
No,
well, it just says how to. No, I can't. But go ahead.
I see how to see TC.
Yeah, I was like, how to Traverse City.
Wait, let's pause.
Full screen.
Okay, and we are back, and we're going to play a little game called Lost in Space with. And for those of you who are listening, I'll try and remember to read everything off so that way you can hear what we're saying. And for those of you who are really interested in seeing and getting a visual, we upload all of our recordings to our YouTube channel. So you can check us out. Our YouTube channel is the Gayest Podcast Ever. You can also find links on our website, on our Facebook, and anywhere else where you listen to us. So, boys, are you ready to get lost in space?
Launch. Let's launch.
We
have liftoff.
We have liftoff. All right. Okay, so I included a couple of rules. So just so you're aware, you're going to choose the astronaut that you would like to be lost in space with. Every option will have 2 people to choose from. You'll want to consider how smart, adept, and sexy they are, as you don't want to die in space. And remember, no one can hear you moan in space.
Oh.
All right. Are we ready, boys, for our first experiment?
Let's do it.
All right. So, lost in space with John Glenn or Neil Armstrong, a.k.a. we have Glenn Powell, who played John Glenn in Hidden Figures, or Ryan Gosling, who played Neil Armstrong in First Man. Who are you getting lost in space with?
Well, for me, I'm getting lost in space with Ryan Gosling. Not to confuse Glenn Powell with the guy from Umbrella Academy, which we did a couple episodes ago.
I feel so bad about that.
Not the same guy.
Luther?
But, yeah, for me, Ryan Gosling, all the way, sign me up.
Same, Ryan Gosling, 100%.
Oh, so Ryan Gosling doesn't do anything for me. I'm going with Glenn Powell.
Oh.
I think he's got a weird bird face.
Well, that's because she's a bird in the Notebook.
Better
a bird.
Better the peck you with.
Yeah. I've actually never seen First Man. Did you guys see that one?
I did,
Nope.
yeah. I did.
He plays Neil Armstrong.
It was horrible.
First Man on the Moon.
It was actually
was
a horrible movie.
I heard it got panned. It was not. Everyone thought he was going to get like an Oscar nom, and then it got panned by the critics.
So if you're going to compare it to Hidden Figures, hands down Hidden Figures, First Man was horrible. Like, I actually turned it off and paused it and had to sit there for a moment. Like, what have I just
He does weird movies, though. Like, Lars and the Real Girl was kind of out there. Like, he tries to get his indie on sometimes, and it doesn't work out real well for him.
Yeah, and Hidden Figures was so well done. I mean, Glenn Powell's a very, very small role in that, but he's just cute. And, you know,
loved him in Umbrella Academy.
No, he was not in Umbrella Academy.
We've now corrected that. Okay, you guys ready for the next one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lost in Space with Ocean's 11? We have George Clooney, who is in Gravity, and Brad Pitt, who is in Ad Astra.
Brad Pitt. I mean,
Brad Pitt.
Come on. Yeah.
Yeah, Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I'm Brad Pitt as well in this. Poor George.
He's aging. I mean, George is aging very well, but Brad is aging very well.
I watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith last night when I was going to sleep, and I was like, oh, yeah, this was hot, Brad. Like,
so you've got a lot of sexual frustration. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we all agree, Brad. All right, next up, Lost in Space with Aliens. We have Johnny Depp, who is in The Astronaut's Wife, very early film with Charlize Theron, and Will Smith from Independence Day.
Will Smith, hands
down.
Will Smith as well. Johnny Depp freaks me out.
Fly me in that little space mobile. Yeah.
Actually, I got a little hot just.
I did too. Will Smith does it for me in Independence Day.
Oh, that tank top. Yeah, look at him. Yeah. He's like
he's got the cigar in his mouth at the end.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, same. Yeah, Johnny Depp freaks me out, and he got possessed by an alien in that movie. It was not my. Yeah. No. All right. We all agree. Will Smith will save us. All right, next up, Lost in Space with Good Will Hunting. We got Matt Damon in The Martian and Ben Affleck in Armageddon.
This one's a tough one.
Well, I can't sleep. I can't sleep with myself.
Oh my god!
Can I hear that on this podcast one more time?
I have to sleep with my best friend. Matt Damon.
I'm gonna go Matt Damon,
even though I'm way cuter than Matt Damon.
Because I don't want to give Eric any more things.
Everyone knows that I'm gonna Armageddon on with Ben Affleck, so it's just out there.
Thank you.
But I will say, if you've never seen The Martian, I don't love space movies, which is hilarious because everything I just talked about is all about space. I don't love space movies. I don't like aliens. But neither one of these movies have aliens. But
The Martian, Sigourney Weaver better not be on here.
No, gross. But Matt Damon in The Martian was so good. I think the last 15 minutes, I was off of my couch shouting at the TV, wanting it to go the way I wanted it to go. So good. So good.
So it obviously didn't, so I'm not watching that.
I don't want to give anything away. I mean, it's been a decade, but, maybe you want to watch it. All right. Next, Lost in Space with Oscar winners. I got Sam Rockwell, who was in this movie called The Moon. I never heard of it. I had to do some research to figure this one out. And Tom Hanks from Apollo 13.
So I absolutely love Sam Rockwell.
There is something about Sam Rockwell. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
In Charlie's Angels, when he was with Drew Barrymore, I found his character there's something about him.
Yeah, I love Sam Rockwell. When I was thinner and younger, people compared me to Tom Hanks.
You're just saying that because of the Ben Affleck.
I'm going to take Eric's note and say, I can't.
What a reach that is. That is such a reach. Anyway.
I'll show you some younger pictures of me.
I 100% agree. There's something about Sam Rockwell. I don't know what it is. We're going to have to do a deep dive on this and poll the people. But I'm saying.
He's like Jared Leto's hot older brother that's more like calm. I don't know.
He plays a good villain too.
He does.
Oh, it's very sexy.
Kind of like the guy that your mom doesn't want you to date, but he's just kind of something about him.
My mom got pissed because I did.
Take you for a ride in his truck. But yeah, so Sam Rockwell. All right. Lost in Space with, I couldn't think of anything for this, so I was like, Lost in Space with me, hopefully, because no matter how hard I tried, I could not figure out a way to tie these two together. Chris Pratt in Passengers, which was the movie that CJ was talking about earlier with Jennifer Lawrence, and Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar.
I'm a Chris Pratt guy, 100%.
I really love Chris Pratt, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Matthew. I think he'd be more fun up in space. Like,
he's going to get high. He's
Talk to me in your swing. I don't know. Like, just, yeah.
His space bongos. So.
Right.
Yeah, I got some space bongos to play with Matthew McConaughey. And I know I almost did Chris Pratt from the Marvel movies, but I kind of discounted all of them because
No, I think this is a better choice. Choice.
So, but then I remembered Passengers with him and Jennifer Lawrence. I think I'm going with Chris Pratt as well. I think he'll keep me entertained while we're floating through space. But yeah, so that is just a little game I had. I hope that you guys enjoyed.
Very fun. Loved it. Space. Go science.
Do we want to go space? You know what?
Let's trust science over everything right now.
Science every day, and maybe life in outer space is better than down here on Earth.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, this was such a fun little evening. I'm glad that we got to talk about all these fun little things.
Samesies.
Have a couple drinks. To all of you out there listening, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for downloading, for rating, reviewing, subscribing, sharing with a friend, with a coworker. Everyone that you know, we appreciate it. We love you so much. We're so excited to have you listening, and we can't wait to do another episode for you. So until then, I think that's bye.
Bye.
Bye.